Yo, what is good, NYU? Silence Behind the Violets podcast, episode number 14. This is a little bit of a unique one that we have today, but one that I was very happy to get scheduled and on the books. Kai, who is that going to be with?
We are here with Alekhya Mangharam, who, if you follow NYU Athletics at all, you're familiar with her work. She is a first-year student who has just been amazing for us this year, doing incredible videography, editing, and has been an integral part of the success that we've had as a communications department this year. So, Alekhya, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Bangkok Buckets, the Bangkok Buckets in the building, for sure. We want to start with really just like what teams, like sports-wise, that you're a fan of. So just sports fandom.
I'm a big Cleveland Cavaliers fan. Ride or die, Cavs in 4. Calling it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's like my biggest one. But like my family's a big Boston Celtics fan, so it's always a rivalry in my household. Yeah.
Did that come about? Was that like the LeBron effect, or does it go back further than that?
It goes back, I mean, not further than that, but like because of Kyrie. So like him getting drafted to the Cavs and then like being a LeBron fan. But then even when he went to Miami, like I was still a Cavs fan. And then him coming back, and I just stayed because I was like, I can't keep moving wherever Kyrie goes.
Yeah. Well, what inspired your family to be Boston fans?
My dad went to university in Boston, so like he
wow.
was like he went to BU, so he was like a big Boston like Celtics fan. And then my brother grew up also being a Celtics fan, so like in my house like signed Paul Pierce jersey, Wi-Fi password has to do with the Celtics. Like everything is Celtics related.
Title
so
Town 7.
Yeah. it's like anything you ask my dad Celtics related, I bet you can answer it.
That's pretty good.
Word.
Yeah.
Did you go to have you been to very many games at all, like growing up at all, like NBA games at all?
None. My first game was like last semester.
Oh yeah, who'd
So
you watch?
I watched Nets Hawks.
Ooh, Nets Hawks.
Yeah, that was a good
Okay.
game. It was like
Yeah.
down to the wire.
Were Katie and Kyrie still on the team at
Yeah.
that point?
And I think they both had like 35, 36, so it was a good game.
Better times.
Yeah, you caught a blip in history there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I was thinking about the other day. So I went to the Cavs game with the men's basketball team just this past weekend, sick. And then I was like, okay, that's for March. And then I was like, well, in February, I went to the Alamo Dome for the Spurs game against the Warriors. That was fire. And then I was like, in January, I went to the Nets game against, who was it that I saw you? Yeah.
It wasn't Orlando, was it?
No. San Antonio. It was San Antonio
Right,
again.
right,
Yeah, because I
right,
remember,
right,
how do you
right.
pronounce his name? Jeremy Sochan?
Sohan, I think it is,
Sohan?
yeah.
Yeah, he shoots one-handed free throws. Yeah. I remember seeing him like on back-to-back months. So A, I'm averaging one arena per month, trying to keep that pace up.
Quite a
But
run.
B, the reason I bring it up is that was KD's last game, like full game, because the very next day they went to Miami, or next game they went to Miami. That's when Jimmy Butler fell on him. Literally broke the Nets.
Yeah, it just ended everything.
That was the downfall.
Came crashing down. Yeah.
Genuinely, yeah, it's rougher times. Well, I mean, Kai, we mentioned about how I saw you there. Do you want to talk about like what you do with the Nets?
Yeah.
I think people
So
know.
in addition to what I do here at NYU, I've been on the Nets game night PR staff for the past 4 seasons, which has been a blast. It worked out pretty well for me when I started. So my first season was 1920, of course, the clean sweep season. So since I've been around, the media attention that we get, just the vibe at Barclays every night is high, and there's a lot of energy. And these last few weeks, it's of course been different, but still positive. Honestly, I will say, the vibe around the team is still great. A lot of good personalities in there. Mikal Bridges is, I guess, the next KD or something like that.
The way he was shooting last night.
So
way he was
the
shooting on
vibes are
Sunday,
still
rather.
up. The vibes are still up, but at the end of the day, it's still, it's a blast. It's really cool to be around. And honestly, one of the most fun parts is getting to see, all the visiting teams. For example, the last game I was at was the Milwaukee game. And just being in the presser with Giannis was so cool. And you kind of get a glimpse into the personalities of the players, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I always enjoy that. Like really just like humanizing them, because like we think that there's just like these untouchable figures, but then you're up close with them, you interact with them, and you're just like, yo, like they're just another human.
Right. Like when we walked out of the presser, I walked out right behind Giannis, and then his 2 little toddlers and his wife are right there, and his little boy is running out through the tunnel onto the court. And he's like, whoa, come on. It's like little moments like that you get to see behind the scenes that are really awesome.
Sure.
That very last game that I was talking about, or rather last Nets game that I was talking about, that ended up being KD's last one. That was the game where Kyrie had that putback dunk.
Yeah.
Do you remember? So
Yeah.
that's like one of the cooler hoops moments that I've gotten to witness live. For each of you guys, what's probably like the best hoops moment that you've witnessed at any level?
Like, you go first.
Okay. Well, at NYU specifically was probably when Spence nutmegged the
Brandeis.
guy. Yeah, at Brandeis game. That was like the last game, last home game. So that was super awesome. I think that was crazy.
Yeah.
Spence, phenomenal player. In high school, someone on my team hit like a half-court shot in like our last game of the season. We ended up winning by like 1 point.
Oh wow.
So it was like really crazy.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It wasn't a buzzer beater though, was it? It
No.
was just, what was the situation? Was the ball just deflected?
It might have been a buzzer beater, but it was not like half-court, but like 3/4 way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like
Like
buzzer
logo.
beater, probably
Yeah,
like end of the
exactly.
third quarter or something like that. Yeah.
Pretty fire.
Makes
Yeah,
a
it
difference.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Can't protect that shooting percentage too much. Got to just throw it up.
Yeah, exactly. What do you got, Kai? for best hoops?
Myself, so yeah, I was in the building. The infamous KD's shoe is a little too big. The game 7
On the
against
line?
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
As a staffer, of course, we're not supposed to. We're supposed to be objective, put it like that. And the roof came off of Barclays Center. Me, every other person, like we all just lost our minds. I mean, that was the best moment I've ever seen. And then when we realized it was a 2.
Yeah.
I can say this.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I can say this because I'm above 21 years old. I watched that at Off the Wagon. Wild time. Yeah, I know. It's
That's an
it's
interesting
heartbreaking.
place to catch a game. I watched the U.S. Netherlands World Cup match this past year. There, it's interesting.
There's a lot of screens there.
Yeah,
It's a good spot. We'll take the sponsorship deal.
yeah. Swing that.
Right. As far as just like, yeah, that's, talking a little bit about your fandom, like just the spectator side, actually hooping yourself. Kai and I, we be taking the court when we can.
Dabble.
Right. But for you, like, how much do you play yourself? And yeah, we'll start with that.
Well, like growing up, I played literally every single day.
Yeah.
It was my whole entire life. And then in high school, I took it really seriously. So I'd be training like, especially during COVID, I maximized like my time during that. So like 6 a.m. get up,
Word.
train, and then 3 p.m. I'd have another session. And then I would have coaches in the States, and they would do Zoom sessions at like midnight. So I would be training on Zoom from 12 to 1 a.m. And it was like the camera would be on the floor in my parking lot. It'd just be ball handling drills. And I would just be standing there like, and it was insane. I was obsessed. And then that slowly died. And after my season ended, I just started playing pickup for fun. So I play like a couple of times a week now at Palladium. Catch me there if you want the smoke. I'll be there like in the evenings and stuff. But yeah, try to get like 4 or 5 runs in a week.
Yeah.
Just still good, but yeah.
I definitely want to hear more about like the whole Zoom thing that you had going on. I didn't know about that. Like, that's super fire. Like, who were the coaches that you're working with, or rather like instructors, whatever they were, and how did that go down?
Well, one of them his name's Rod Rains. He's a trainer here in New York, and he trains like Sabrina Ionescu, and he trains like a bunch of like NBA, G League players and things like that. I used to hoop here in the summers, so like
word.
yeah. So I used to like come here, train, and then like it was too late for me to like get on like an AAU team because my summer would start like mid-June. But I would just like train with the AAU teams and like train with their trainers, in hopes of like playing EYBL when I was in high school. But then COVID shut that down too.
Right.
Actually got pretty cool, like I can't say the team for like those reasons, but like I got pretty cool opportunities to play on like EYBL teams. But yeah, because I would train here like, and I couldn't come in the summers because of COVID, he was like, okay, I'm gonna make like Zoom sessions, and he would have like 15 kids on from like worldwide, and it would just all just ball handling on Zoom, like tennis ball drills, like things like this. It'd be like 1 a.m. Like I'm sure I can find a video somewhere and like send it to you after, but like it was wild.
That's sick. That's so sick. Yeah.
That's really awesome. And I'm not surprised to hear the extent to which you were like grinding at it, just knowing you and your work ethic here. Like, you're always at the ready. You pull up to every single home game you can, do things remotely when we're on the road and we send you stuff, so it goes to show for sure.
Kai, you had a good question on here about your play style. How might you describe it?
Yeah.
It's a hard one to answer.
It's a really
I'm
hard
trying to think of
one.
myself. I don't even
Yeah,
know.
like when I think of that question, I think of player comps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to think though.
I don't have like one player that I like resemble my play after. I think when I was younger, I'd really try to play after Kyrie, so I'd like do so many ball handling
Spin.
drills. I'd be like in between, behind the back, like every single thing, tween,
Right
crossovers,
stick going
spin move,
crazy.
and I would just miss the layup at the end of the day, and it would be the worst. It was like a waste of time, and people used to be like, "Why are you dribbling so much? Like you have 4 other players wide open." Nope, I'm taking it to the rack. Like that's me. Now I feel like I'm a big passer, so I want to say like maybe CP3. But like, I also shoot. Like I would shoot at 3 if it's opened.
Yeah.
Like I don't
That's
shoot.
CB.
I
That's
don't shoot.
CB.
I don't shoot like mid ranges. That's not for me.
Yeah.
But like the corner 3, that's my shot.
You're talking Mr. Mid-range. Kai is
Midi?
big mid-range. Yeah, he's big.
Give me,
Yeah,
give me
you
at the
won't catch me-
elbow.
You
So
won't
the-
catch me hitting a mid range.
Yeah, well, it's funny because like with a lot of guards, like sometimes it's just that awkward in between where I'm either like lighting it up from 3, the deep ball, or I'm taking the layup. Like a lot of guards can't find that feel for the midi, whereas Kai, like height wise.
Rounding up.
Okay.
I knew.
Now, Kyle, this is gonna be a clip too. I know there's gonna be a clip. So I've stopped. My answer to that question will be I've stopped telling people I'm 6 foot.
Okay.
I've stopped lying.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
First step,
I'm
denial.
probably like I'm like in between 5'10",
You're
5'11".
calm 5'11".
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate
But
that.
it leads me to say, because you're a little bit taller than, let's say, most guards, for instance, in your typical league, I guess, Melo. You have Melo over there. We talking about
I mean, that's my
range?
favorite player of all time. That's
So
my
it makes sense.
inspiration.
It's like off the jab.
So it's like I want that ball in the high. I want at the elbow, and I'm gonna face you up and just
yeah, jab.
Jab.
you to death, and
Yeah.
then that little sliver, things going up.
Yeah, couldn't be me.
See,
And not the layup either. That's getting blocked for sure.
And then Kai, you for me, I mean, I'm like built like Raymond Felton. I don't want to be Raymond Felton.
Bro, like you're like these days you're like a Jared Vanderbilt, bro. I know but you just
Jay Vendy,
I
yeah.
cannot score on you.
Yeah.
Lock
I mean,
it.
Offensively, I'd say I'm more pass first though.
Yeah.
I'm more pass
I'm
first.
definitely
yeah,
pass
just
first.
like you.
Your defense and how much of a menace and havoc you cause, and I just think of Vanderbilt because since he went to LA, he's just been
He's been balling.
killing
That's
people.
true,
on
yeah.
defense, so that's just the person that comes to mind. Offensively, yeah, great facilitator. Our pick and roll game. Is
Oh, pick and roll between K and K is stupid.
really-
Yeah.
Like the way that I'll set that screen, I'll roll, and then I just look up. I don't even look at Kyle because I know
It's already in the
ball's
air.
gonna just float right into
Yeah.
the ball.
We
Catch
only
us at 181 Mercer runs
Yo, what?
next semester. NYU Athletics super team.
on all 4 courts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three of those 3-on-3
I was just gonna say a 3-on-3 tournament. This would be a fun. This would be a fun unit. Yeah. Well, Kai and I barely get to play. We'll play like in like the summers, definitely,
Yeah.
and then like maybe sneak in a few times in the winter. But the chemistry like never leaves.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It took a couple months when we first started to get it. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
the game is like right away.
Well, it's also like IQ off that too. Like you ever be playing with people that like, I mean, I guess you could
Bums.
say like or, like they just don't know how to play, and just like like they set a screen, they don't roll, and you're just like roll, like you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Like,
that's the thing about like runs at universities, I guess. You're gonna just get like a range of like skill set. Kind of just have to live with it. Like there'll be days that your runs are just so bad.
yeah, and some that are high level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very volatile. You know, sometimes you play with a bunch of dogs, and you're just like, I gotta go.
Especially because I'm like always the only girl there. Like
Yeah,
it'll be
I'm
me, and then
sure.
it'll be like 7 like 6'3" guys, and I'll just be like, you guys want to run? My 5'2".
What is your standpoint on your preference between half versus full in pickup?
Okay, I think pickup should be full court.
Okay.
But then, because I like to run, I want to run the floor. But I play much better if it's like a 4v4 or a 3v3.
Half.
Yeah.
Just generally speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I will ask. This is Kai and I's gripe. Kai and I's gripe with full, that like if game is 11,
Yeah.
and let's say it's like 3-3, does it just become a cherry picking contest of just baseball passes down the court because people get tired? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so.
And just leaking out.
I don't know what time you guys go run, but like when I go run, I don't
Normal
think there's
business
that many.
hours from 9 to 9.
But like when I go run, I feel like there's not that many cherry pickers.
Okay, that's good.
My other piece to that, another layer of that is like not necessarily cherry picking, but it will become a 3-on-3 full court because there's like 1 or 2 people
Hanging back.
just like that. And it's not that they're trying to cherry pick; they're just dead,
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
can't run, and then it's just the 3 most fit people just running the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have that issue that
Fair.
often.
Pickup basketball game is 3-on-3 half court. That is just beautiful basketball. So that they made it Olympics. They made it Olympics for a reason. That's just like
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
That's like the only Olympic sport that Thailand women's basketball team qualifies for. The 3v3.
Well, I think the Philippines would be Andre Blatch, Jordan Clarkson, and I don't know, some other dude. Kind of slim pickings on
Jalen
that.
Green.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I'll take him. Yeah. There was one more thing that I was thinking about on the pickup front, but I can't really remember what it was. Anyways, we'll just move on. What drew you to NYU, like the university overall?
Well, I feel like being an international student, like a lot of people from my school go internationally for university. Like honestly, maybe like 2 or 3 stay back in Thailand. The university there is just like, unless you're studying medicine, it's not like something you would want to do because, firstly, like it's not an English speaking language. It's like, I mean, speaking country. It's like everyone there speaks Thai. So medicine, like by law, if you want to practice there, you have to take the test in Thai. So that's why people would stay back. Looking at like the states in particular, I was looking at like the UCs. I was looking at NYU. I wanted to play D3 basketball. I was like in high school, like I mentioned, like I got interest from like D1s, D2s. But none of those were going to fall through. I wasn't good enough. But I was like, okay, I can walk on at like NYU if I come here. So I'm really indecisive. I was like, okay, I'm going to just ED, get that stuff out of the way. If I get in, I go there. I have to go. It's a binding document. So I ED'd sports management. I was like, that's something I want to do. I want to study that. Like NYU has like a super specific, because SPS is super specific. It's like small school, but best place for opportunities, New York City. And I was like, I want to be here. My mom went to University of New York. She went to FIT. And then I have like cousins here and stuff like that. So like, okay, this could be the place for me. Like I've been here so many times. I know my way around. I have family. I just ED. Got in on my birthday. And then, yep.
December 15th?
Shout out.
How do I know
We'll get to that.
How do I know this? How do I know this?
We'll get to that.
We got the same birthday. I learned
get
this
to
past
that.
December. We have the same birthday. Yeah.
But yeah, got in and then now I'm here. And yeah, love it. Best place to be.
Well, good to hear that you love it. How has the adjustment been overall to the city?
I think because I've been here, I don't have like those like culture shocking moments that a lot of people do when they're international. I do have my like welcome to New York moment, if you want to hear that.
Please.
Comes like after the men's basketball game at it's December 1st, Yeshiva, I think we play. I'm coming back from Brooklyn, and I always take the subway back myself. I'm not scared to do that. I'm just like, okay, it's fine. Nothing's going to happen.
Okay.
But this time I'm with my friend Nick, and we're like sitting across each other on the subway, and like we're almost at Union Square. So we're at Canal Street, and we're sitting, okay, let's say like the window's like here. I mean, the door's here. We're sitting like across each other, right next to the door. This guy's on the subway the whole time with us, but like nothing sus. Like we're like, okay, it's fine, whatever. We're almost at and we just got to Canal, so we're like leaving the station, and he like steps back, and then he runs and he jump kicks the door, the glass on the door. We're like, okay, first rule of thumb, don't react.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. We're like, okay. Me and Nick just like look up, we look back down. We're like, okay, whatever.
Copy.
Just like,
Right.
all right. If you want to kick the door, you going through something, that's all right. Not my business. Then he does it again, and we're like, okay, this is getting a bit weird. And he's like, for those of you guys who've been on the subway, like you know that the glass isn't low. It's like relatively high. It's like the same distance as like, can they see that? Okay, so like it's like that board. So it's like that high. Then the third time he does it, the glass shatters. And it's like, I was like, okay, this is the time to react. He's running and like taekwondo jump kicking this thing. The glass is like bulletproof, and it completely shatters. We get up and we sprint to the end of the cart. We're like standing there. It's like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Me, Nick, and 4 other grown ladies. We're just all crowded in a circle at the end of the subway. I was like, God, this is it. Like, this is my time. I was about to send a voice note to my mom being like, I should have listened and not taken the subway alone. I was like, this is not it. Like, I can't be doing this. My anxiety is through the roof. The windows open. I mean, the doors open to Union Square. We get out. We sprint. So we see the MTA people. And we're like, okay, there's this guy on the subway and he's kicking the door. And we couldn't even finish our sentence because we saw him behind. We sprint down Union Square. You see both of us just running out of like next to U-Haul, next to Trader Joe's. We're just running. But yeah, that was like
crazy.
the point that I was like, okay, I'm actually in a place that's like not safe, and like you have to be careful.
Of course.
Like Thailand, there's no crime. There's no like no one has a gun. Like it's like things like that just don't happen. Like everyone, like I can walk home at like 4 a.m. by myself if I
No
want
issue.
to.
Yeah.
So I was like, here, I was like, okay,
Right.
gotta be safe.
Well, what's impressive with that is that like to run down an entire car, like you need to dodge
Yeah.
poles. So he's like,
Yeah.
this person's doing like hard cuts.
Yeah.
Like they're coming off screens and stuff. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that this happened like 3.5 months ago too was like hilarious.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
super traumatizing.
You did say that you spent like summers here though,
Yeah.
right? So like at what age did you start pulling up to the city?
My first time I came to America was when I was 11.
11?
Yeah.
Okay.
My parents were always like, we're not going to bring you before that because you're not going to remember it.
Yeah.
So, valid
thinking.
reason.
I like
Valid
that.
reasoning. And then after that, I came when I was, I think, 18, summer of 18 and summer of 19. Summer of 19, I did a summer camp at Columbia.
Fire.
So I was like there like for a month and then hooping training. And then, yeah, so it's like my 4th time here, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, because living here is like so different than
Yeah.
just being here for X amount of time.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything of like when you first came to the city? Or were just like, oh, like this is just like the photos, or it's just like, oh, like it's not as glamorous as it looks.
When you live internationally, everyone like glorifies the United States.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
true.
it's very glorified. Like you have to understand that like people are gonna be like when you watch TV, you're just like it's the U.S. like the U.S. of A. Like this is it, the place to be.
Promised
And
land.
like
Yeah.
I came here and like honestly, I think the thing I was 10 years old, 11 years old. Every time my mom took me to like a toy shop or like a candy shop, I was like, I need this. This is what I need. I need to take it back home. Like have you seen those massive gummy bears that are like 5 feet?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I need that.
Yeah, they're like the cause bear bricks.
I was like, but yeah, other than that, not really. I feel like I don't really remember much. Like, I mean, I remember the trip and stuff, but other than that, like, I think my perception of the U.S. and like New York in particular was just like coming here, training. Like, I know the city well, so like coming in like my freshman year of college, it was like not difficult to navigate myself around. Like, I knew where I was at
familiar.
all times. Yeah.
That's pretty
So
dope.
yeah.
Okay, very cool to know. Your platform. I mean, we know about it, but would love for you to speak about it. Bangkok Buckets. What is it, and what was the inspiration for it? We'll start with those two.
Okay, so what it is, for people who don't know, is it's a platform which I created in like 2019, 4 years ago now. That's my phone. Sorry, let me start again. It's a platform where like I would film individual highlight tapes for athletes in Thailand in order for them to get like recruited or seen on a global scale. And this is just because of like the lack of exposure that athletes have in Thailand. Like in the US, you have Overtime, you have Slam, you have like Balls Life, all these platforms. But in Thailand, we had nothing. So part of that inspiration came from playing here and then wanting to be recruited. And like my coaches would be like, okay, you want to be recruited, you have what it takes, but you don't have any film. And I was like, okay, but like I don't have anyone to come film me at my games. Like my parents don't come to all my games, and then like my friends aren't just gonna sit there filming for 4 quarters on like their iPad or whatever. So I went back that happened in the summer when I was with my coach, and then I went back that summer and I was like, okay, I need to figure this out. Like I really want to get recruited. The first year I did it, this was like 2018. The first year I did it, I just filmed on iPad, only myself. I was like, okay, sending these to coaches, making myself iMovie. Alekhya Mangharam, 5'1" point guard, 1 point per game, highlight tape. But I was like, okay, this isn't like, it's getting late for me. Like, I'm not getting recruited, like, but let me help other people. I was like, there has to be other people who want to do the same thing that I do. So I had a camera at home. I was like, okay, I can like film highlight tapes. I could like figure out how to do this. So like went to like this league. It's called Top Flight. It's like a big basketball league in Thailand for like youth. It's like AAU, but like it's just one program, so they're all top flight teams. So it's just like everyone's playing in bibs, pretty much. But yeah, I went there and I like started filming, and I would film like my friends, and then I was like, okay, I can edit this. It's okay, let me launch it. Let me make it super official. I was like, this is gonna be easy. I'll get 1,000 followers by my first week. Launched it, like 80 followers for the first year. Yeah. Like I just did it, and I'm not even gonna pull it up. It's really bad. Like the highlight tape I made, like it's terrible. I didn't even like. At least Zach, I think he said he archived it. Mine aren't even archived. Mine are still there. Yeah, it was like really bad. But like at that time, I was like, oh, I'm so good at this. Like this is easy. Put in the transitions, blur, mask, everything. But yeah, that was like kind of like the inspiration behind it. Just really wanted to help other people get recruited, and like it didn't really take off until I want to say 2022. Like I had like up to like 600, 700 into like 2021, and then like 2022 I like hit 1,000, something like that. And like that's because I started a league, and like a lot of people don't know that I did that, but like in April I just like started a pro charity league, so I had like people sign up. I was like, you can sign up with the team or you can sign up as like a free agent. Every team represents a charity, playing a round robin, 6 games, and then the winner takes home $1,000 for their charity. And yeah, and that's like when it kind of like I was like, okay, I'm actually doing this, and this is actually like changing basketball culture in Thailand. Yeah.
For sure. Did you pull that off all by yourself?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was crazy.
What went into that project? Like, I'm sure it's just like.
It's like, it was kind of like a fever dream, because like the first day it was just me and my friends talking. We were playing pickup, and I was like, I want to do a league. Like I want to do something before I leave, before I graduate. And then I was like, okay, this can't be that hard. I played basketball my whole life. I know the coaches. I know refs. I know players. I know like you need water. I know how to rent a court. And like renting a court in Thailand is super easy. It's not like it is here, where like you have to go through like a whole process. There, it's like you contact. You're like, can I book the court from like this time to this time on like these days? It's just like getting the availability that's more difficult. But I was like, the thing I want to make different, because there's other leagues, but I was like, the thing I want to do is like really maximize on media. Like I want people to be able to like go home and be like, these are my highlights from my game today, or like this is my stats. Because I think like back home we don't have that. Like people aren't like counting your stats as much. It's like if they count your points. They don't count your steals, assists, rebounds, things like that. So I was like, okay, I really want to do that. So in like about a week, I think. I mean, everything was pretty much planned in a day, but like there were financial issues. I feel like I'm the type of person that I just like, if I have something on my mind, I have to do it. Like I was calling people all day. But yeah, like in a week, I kind of like just had everything planned out, like, and it fit my budget. Like each team had to pay to enter, so like that was like split into like the prize money and then
Like the operational
cost,
Yeah.
exactly. And then like the whole media aspect of it, like I did, but then I also had like I like reached out to my high school, and I was like, anybody like aspiring photographers, videographers, like, do you want to shoot this? And like a lot of people did. A lot of people were like, yeah, we'll do it. Because I went to an IB school, so like there's something called CAS, which is Creativity Activity Service, and you have to get those requirements to graduate. And I was like, okay, this can fall under like anyone's creativity if you're just shooting. So I like offered it. I was like, you guys do this, I'll sign your CAS form. I'll give it to you. It's like I had like people, like high school students, like freshmen in high school, like being like, okay, I'll come, I'll do it. So like the whole media aspect of it was done. I would just edit on Canva. I had all the templates set. Once I had like their stats done from like the day, I'd go home that night, put everything in, make reels, post it, and like, yeah, it really just took off. And it was awesome. I can't believe like it happened, but yeah.
Yeah, and it really is such a grind. I just love hearing creative people talk about like their embarrassment about their early work, but not even so much about like, you know, just putting down what they started at, where they started at, but more so just being how proud of like where they've come. The fact that there is so much deviation that they can, you know, be proud of, even more proud of where they are now. You started to talk a little bit about it, but like the community that it's built. If you could just talk a little bit about how that has began to manifest, you know, again, is exactly that, as a community back home.
Yeah, so like as I mentioned, I think the basketball culture in Bangkok wasn't really anything before. Like people played, definitely like a game that's on the uprise, and like it's definitely like still coming up, but not that many academies, not that many leagues. I think it's also just a part of like, we don't have that many people who are like think they can make it out. Like people play, but then they're like, okay, this is just a passion. I'm not that good. I can't be that good. If I play in the States, I'm getting beat by like 100 points. But I was like, okay, there's actually a lot of kids here. I just want to shout out to Shanique and Kishana. They're like, these girls I played against in high school, they dropped 70 on us every game. Damn. They're crazy good. Playing D2 right now at Union University, I think it's in like Tennessee or something. Yeah, okay. They like if
Bucket.
you they're crazy good, and I was like, these girls can easily go D1. And they like would travel here for like AU and summers and stuff like that. But like that, I don't know what age they started doing that, but like if they had these like, if they had Balls Life and Slam and stuff, I promise you these girls are like WNBA bound if they had that, but they didn't. And I was like, okay, there's has to be a way out. And like I think this like what I did, and just like I don't want to be like it's just me, because it's not. But like now there's a lot of companies that are doing exactly the same thing, like basketball videography in Bangkok. And the funny thing is like I know these people, so like I'll be like, I'm really glad that you're doing it. Like people will see it like as like a, oh, they're trying to be like me.
Competition.
Right.
But it's not like that. Like I'm genuinely happy that like they're doing this, because like it's inspiring younger kids to be like, I want a highlight tape. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to be able to play that at that level. I'm like, okay, even if their goal is just to get a highlight tape for their Instagram, like you're still going to put in the work to make that highlight tape good. You're still going to like put in the hours and like, it's just bringing the culture up. So yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's not like the competition aspect it's a sign of the success that you've had, you know, like you've started a movement, and that's really, really dope and inspirational for sure.
Thank you.
You mentioned what you started, the inspiration for the community that it's built. How have you maintained all of that now living pretty much here full time for the next 4 years?
Yeah, so like coming here in the beginning, I was like, okay, I don't really know if I want to do like videography. Like the ultimate goal used to always be like working at Slam or something.
Okay.
That was like the original goal. And then like I came here, I was like, okay, I don't really know what I want to do. Like kind of want to be a PT, like physiotherapist. Kind of want to go into sports media. And I was like, how am I going to film people in Thailand if I'm not even there? Like if I'm there for like 3 weeks a year. So I like told my friends, the people who I told you were starting companies, I was like, okay, if you guys have people who want like highlight tapes edited, you go film if they want to pay you, because I used to do this for free. I don't know if I mentioned that, but like I was like, if they want to pay you, you keep all the money, but you want me to post on my platform so it gets exposure, I'll do it. Like it's fine. You guys just let me know if like someone reaches out to me and wants me to film, but I'm not there, I'll refer you. You do it. You can post on your platform, or you can send it to me. Up to you. But obviously, when I got here, like I was like, okay, it's probably not going to work out. Then got in trouble. Should I go into that?
Yeah, sure.
I was,
you know, it was just like a, hey, this is what you should do. You weren't in trouble.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I want to film the basketball team.
Oh yeah,
So
you're
it
good.
wasn't
You're
in
not
trouble.
Come on, I
it
was
wasn't
like trying
in
to
trouble,
think.
but like I was like, so I met Rion the first like week of school. I was like, okay, you're playing for the basketball team. Like I really want to film. He's like, yeah, for sure, come. We play pickup like Tuesdays, 12 to 3, something like that. I was like, okay, I'll come. So I went. I don't remember who it was. I'm sorry. But I was there, and someone came down, and they were like, you can't film. You need permission. And I was like, okay. I don't know if it's like permission to film the team or permission to film at Palladium or what it is. They're like, this is NYU property. Like, you can't film. It's like, okay, can you refer me to someone? They're like, okay, this is Steve's email.
Yes.
So I get, like, I write this whole email. I can tell you the date. I found it recently.
Okay, go ahead.
Like September 22nd or something like that.
Okay, early.
Yeah. I sent this whole email, Steve, like proper email. Hi, my name is Alekhya Mangharam. I started this thing, Bangkok Buckets.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. He's like, and I don't know who it was, but when I met that person at Palladium, but the person who gave me Steve's email, they were like, I was like, is it difficult to obtain permission? They're like, I'm telling you right now, people don't get permission. They told me, they're like, people don't get permission.
Really?
People have tried in the past to get permission to film at the school, and most of the time it doesn't work out, so don't get your hopes up. I was like, okay, it's fine.
Okay.
Doesn't work out.
Whatever.
I send the email,
Yeah.
and Kyle emails me, and Kyle's like, hey, Alekhya, saw your page, would love to have you. Please come in the office to meet me. It's okay. Me, Kyle, I thought he was a student, and I know you get this all the time.
All the time.
I was like, what year are you in? He's like,
was
oh, no,
like,
I work here.
Full time.
That's kind of just how it took off.
Health insurance.
That's how I'm
All that.
maintaining it now, I guess. It's just like NYU Athletics content. And then, again, because I play basketball here, like I do have friends and stuff who like play AAU and play like on school teams here. So like I have gone to film them a few times and things like that. So that's super dope.
It's really cool to hear that you're still kind of like a facilitator of the culture and scene back in Thailand. You know,
Yeah.
like you're providing opportunities, you're keeping the movement going. I'd love to hear that for sure.
Yeah, when I go back to summer, like I'm sure I'll be filming a lot because it's like 4-month summer.
Yeah.
Straight grind.
Yeah.
Get so much in. You can get a year worth of content for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, just stockpile it. Yeah, you're totally right. You sent the email September 22nd, 5:28 p.m. Steve gets to it Friday, September 23rd at 5:30 a.m. So literally like 12 hours because the dude is an early riser. Sends it to me. And then so I see it at 9:30, and then you were literally hired by like noon.
Yeah, I go to the office. I'm like, what if I don't get the job? And Kyle's like, you're getting the job.
You're good. Like it's my decision.
I was like, everyone was like, this is really hard. I was like, this is the easiest interview I've ever done. We talked about Drake for the 90% of the interview.
Dude, that's so funny. No, it's mad funny because, like I said, like the timeline. I remember this day because, like I said, Steve sent it to me at 5:30. I fielded at 9:30. I was like, hey, can you come between like.
I'm like 12, I remember.
I was like, can you come if you're available today before 3? You were like, yeah, I can do 11. And I was like, all right, word, like, let's do the office. This is a 10:01. And then we were just talking hypotheticals where you were like, all right, so like if I get the job X, Y, and Z, like how would I go about logging this? I was like, Alekhya, you have the job. Like,
Yeah, he just kept saying that. I was like, but what if I don't get it? I was like,
It's my decision.
Yeah.
You're hired.
exactly.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, first off, I remember I was in that day, and you came in, and yeah, like we meet with students. There's always students around. It's a big part of what we do. And then right when you left, I was like, yeah, she's gonna be great. We're gonna hire her. I was like, that's awesome. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it also goes to show, like, if anything's changed, it's just our approach to, making the most of the opportunities that we can provide.
Yeah.
We see potential in people. We're gonna bring them on. Like, we're not gonna limit that.
Kai, do you ever see on Twitter from like people that are in like our industry, particularly in D3, where they're like, yo, like I don't have any students. I got no help. It's just me. It's just a 2-person shop. I'm like, bro, that's impossible.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, okay, you might have different, and this is just me like at other institutions, you might have different like parameters and stuff of like, hey, like we only have this much in the budget for X. Okay, fine. I understand that. But to say that there isn't 3 students on your campus, no matter how small or big, that isn't even moderately interested in sports media, I find that hard to believe. You know what I mean?
Especially now, like even compared to when you and I were in school, and even when you were in undergrad to now, that the interest and the desire to do it has skyrocketed, man.
Yeah, because social media is
It's
so
not
much
just
larger
that.
now.
I was like, I remember I came in and I was like, I'll do this for free. Like, I didn't want to get paid. I
just want permission.
The fact that I just wanted permission. The fact that people say like, oh, you don't have people, like I'm sure they have people. Like,
I will say, like, we are extremely fortunate here at NYU to have such a large, pool of students at a huge university that attracts amazing, talented people from all over the world.
And they come to us.
Exactly.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's
but
a
we're
big
not
part of
even
it.
like people like. It's fine. I'm not gonna go into it.
All right, that's fine.
Unpopular opinions. I don't want to go into it.
We'll talk off camera.
Offline.
We'll talk offline. Yeah, so you talked about like how you've been able to maintain what you do here in the city. We also talked about how it's transitioned into your work here, just overall, just that ethic and how you just apply it. Like, I'll get a Slack message from you at like 1:47 a.m. and you're like, hey, here's this highlight tape. And I'm like, thanks. Like, neither of us should be awake right now. I do want to talk about, it's exactly like what you were talking about before, just relationships that you formed as a result of your employment and involvement here with the department, because Zach and Aiden, they did a great job. They do a great job with their work, but they also did a great job talking about the relationships that it's formed for them. So for you, I mean, first of all, before you get to that prompt, what sports have you shot for? Men's and women's basketball, men's and women's volleyball, fencing can be thrown in there, wrestling can be thrown in there from being first year.
I think that's it.
But yeah, like it lines up with the time in which you came, shooting a lot of winter sports, and I know we'll have you for a lot of spring sports. Anyways, relationships that you formed as a result of your involvement with the department.
I feel like leaving high school, like the one thing that I didn't realize that was going to impact me so much was like not being on a team. Like I've been on a team my whole life.
Yeah.
So like when you leave and you're like, okay, there's next season, you'll be back. Like, and then I come here and I was like, okay, I'm not going to play. I don't want to play basketball anymore. I don't play collegiate basketball anymore. It's like something I really don't want to do. So I was like, okay, I don't have that team aspect. Then I joined NYU Athletics. This is my team. Yeah. Like, I feel like I don't emphasize it enough that like I can text Zach, I can text Aiden, I'm like, I need this graphic. Anytime. And I don't need to go through any of you guys. I text them directly and I get their graphic, I put it in my video. It's just like I'll text someone else, like I'll text Seb or like John, I'll be like, can you guys help me? Like I don't know how to do this video. And it's just like that kind of relationship, like just being able to ask someone and like learn from them. I know Zach and Aiden talked about it, but like you really learn so much from people. Like the amount I've learned from like Seb and like just having him help me and things like that, and like even just like in the department, like I'll be able to like text Kyle, like I don't understand how to do this, and like with the mic'd up, like merging the things, like those kind of tricks, like you don't learn. Like everything I've learned has been self-taught on YouTube and things. So like just having someone to be like, I actually don't understand how to do this, and like the YouTube video isn't explaining it to me, it's just so beneficial.
No,
so like that's like one kind of relationship, and then the other kinds are just like with the athletes themselves.
Precisely.
Like they're really like super grateful and like super loving to, and they show so much love to like media and attention and things like that. Like they're like, even though I'm not playing on the team, like when I film men's basketball, like I feel like I'm on the team. When I film women's volleyball, I feel like I'm on the team. And like these relationships go outside of the court too. Like I'll see like the players in the on campus and stuff like that, and they'll like always say hi, always like super nice, super like I don't know, they're just like amazing people. All the athletes are just great people off court too.
Yeah.
So just like being able to meet those people and like we're gonna go into it, but like just I've never filmed volleyball before, like women's volleyball,
Yeah.
and like just like being able to watch that and be like, wow, this is like impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the relationships are very genuine. It's not just because you have the camera. Like it's a genuine like off court,
Yeah.
outside of work relationship.
I also met like my long lost twin through this job. So
Talk about it.
I'm gonna get into this real quick. Do you want to go into it? I feel like
no, you
should.
go ahead. You go ahead. We can list off all the similarities though.
Okay, so the first day I met Kyle, we were like talking, and I was like, "Oh, I just got Final Cut," and he's like, "Oh, I got Final Cut too." I was like, "Did you pay for it?" He's like, "No, my brother works at Apple." I'm like,
Me too. Yeah.
there's no
Okay,
way.
so
I was
that's
like,
one.
so I was like,
right?
okay, your brother works at Apple. Like, he was like, and you said it. You were like, your brother works at Apple too, like the store or like what? I was like, no, he works at Apple in San Francisco.
Like corporate.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so Kyle's like, me
Same.
too.
Yeah.
So that's the first
So we'll
similarity.
say that as one.
Then we're talking about like my high school. Where did I grow up? I went to an IB school. Kyle, what about you?
Also an IB school, International Baccalaureate too. And it's only a coincidence because it's not like AP where it's like a really big umbrella. Like IB, there's only like a couple dozen sites in the
Yeah.
world. Yeah. So anyway, so
I mean,
that's
there's
two.
a lot, but like there's not that many people in the U.S.
Yeah, that's what
that
I mean.
like that like do the IB. So there was that.
So that's 2. 3 would be launching our own business. That's literally the same thing.
Yeah,
of
exact
providing
same.
exposure to people that could otherwise
Free
not
highlight
afford it.
tapes.
Yeah.
Young age, filming people just because they don't have enough exposure.
Yeah.
That was 3.
That's 3.
Kyle, when's your birthday?
December 15th. December 15th.
I want to go
so
into
that's-
how I found this out. So
Go ahead.
Please
Kyle,
do, please do.
Kyle posted something on his story, on like December 10th, early birthday, cutting cake. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's no way. I was like, all right, let me just. I was like, you're a Sag too? Question mark in the DM. And Kyle goes, yeah, duh, the best.
Yeah, for real.
I was like, when's your birthday? I was like, okay, December
like, don't
10th,
tell
early
me.
birthday.
Yeah,
It can
we
be
got-
any day.
we
It
got
could be
a
the
range.
rest of the 21 days in
The
December.
31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, he goes December 15th.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My
So that's
twin,
what-
that's
my
five,
long
right?
lost twin.
That's 5.
Let's go into our favorite basketball player, not by opinion, not by what they think, but by their skill level.
Wait a minute. Who's
By
it
their
for you?
skill level. Skill level. Isn't your favorite Kyrie?
Oh yeah, skill level, pure skill level.
Yeah,
Pure skill level.
pure skill level?
Basketball,
I
on
love
court,
KD.
on court.
But yeah, like pure, like
Pure
just
skill
between
level?
the four lines. Yeah, it's just
That goes
unbelievable.
6.
Like the amount that I would watch him and just start laughing. And I'm sure the same for you. We're just like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you do
This is
that?
When you fall back in
ridiculous.
your seat.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think this is the
Kyrie,
last
yeah,
one.
That's facts.
I think it's the last one. Kyle, who's the greatest artist of all time?
Oh, Drake. Music artist. Yeah, he's like 77% of NYU Athletics captions. So yeah, no,
So,
that's a
in
a
case you
hard
guys
7-2.
didn't know
Iconic.
that, me and Kyle are long
Straight
lost
up,
siblings.
These aren't even like reaches. Like these are like very specific similarities.
Also big sneakerheads,
Yeah,
both
yeah,
of us.
Yeah. Alekhya's wearing some Jordan 4s right now, and I got some 1s on. She's she's doing her thing.
Dogs.
Kai, I wanted to ask you about kind of something that Alekhya mentioned because I like OD related to it, which was about when you finish high school and you've only been a part of a team.
Yeah.
And then you get to college and you just don't have one.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was the same for you?
Yes and no, and honestly, my answer to you is very similar. So yeah, in high school, I played, freshman, sophomore year of high school, I played 3 sports. Played football, basketball, and baseball all year long.
Yes.
And football is year round. In the summer, right when baseball season ends in the spring, we're back to football. So literally my entire high school experience, I was playing sports. Granted, junior, senior year, I didn't play basketball for reasons that I won't get into here.
Personal reasons.
Personal reasons.
DNP, personal reasons.
Personal reasons. Left the team. Went,
Yeah,
anyway.
not with the team.
But football and baseball, like that was my life. And it's the same, like all of the football players, like all of us, like the starting 11, we all played baseball. So that was my group. And then graduated, and it was weird. It was so weird to like end senior year baseball season and then just be like, okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like working at Staples right now.
Yeah,
for the
there's no
summer.
storybook
Like,
ending.
What's going on?
Life comes at you fast, dude.
Yeah, but then coming to school, I was fortunate enough to have an internship with the SID at my undergrad school before I even showed up on campus. And then coming in, I spent countless hours working for free. I was not paid. It was an unpaid internship, working for free, all 4 years of college. Same thing, getting to know the athletes, working with other students in the department, and just putting so much of my time, still in athletics, but on the other side. And I found a passion for that, and of course led me to where I am now. But very, very similar experience for sure.
Yeah. No, I felt the same way. Like, I was always a part of a team. Get to college, and I walked on, as I've mentioned before, at Wheaton, and that was cool, but, like, I wasn't a part of the recruiting timeline that they were on. So, like, they got to meet in the summer and have an orientation. Like, when you walk on, it's exactly that. Like, you are just thrown into it. Like, you're just one day in the locker room, and you're like, hey, guys, like, I'm the one dude from New York that isn't from Massachusetts. And I'm sure there's a whole lot we could talk about in common. Wasn't. And then it kind of ran into the same thing as you, where it was just like, I remember my sophomore year where people were like, yo, you going to try out again? I was like, nah, like, I'm burned out on the sport, like the playing of the sport. Like, obviously, and this is another thing too, like about the Division III aspect. People think like D3, like, yo, you just do a couple jumping jacks and you run out there. Like, nah, it's like, this is purely the baseball sense that I experience. Practice 6 times a week, lift at 5 a.m. If if you had class at a certain time, you had to come back from winter break on January 3rd as opposed to 20 something like the rest of campus does. So you cut your break short. Just a whole bunch of elements where like the sport felt like a job, where I was just like, damn, like I gotta go take ground balls, as opposed to like, damn, I get to take ground balls. So like that was definitely a big component to it.
I mean, that's why I don't want to play either. Like, I was like, I don't want to get to the point where I hate it.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like when you're surrounded by the sport all the time, grow up, I'm like, okay, I had a good ending. Like you said, it comes at you fast, but like, I mean, I'm glad that it ended that on that note.
Right. Yeah, I feel that. You mentioned about how you had never watched volleyball before, but then you were just like, yo, like, this is incredible. Just sports overall that you've come to know and enjoy since working in athletics, even if you haven't necessarily shot it, just like, being around the department.
Yeah. I mean, I watched volleyball in high school. I feel like my women's volleyball team was good, but I never filmed it. Like, and I exactly like Zach and Aiden discussed, like, our D3 women's volleyball team is insane. And like, even the men's, like, they're crazy good. And I didn't expect them to be that good when I went to film them the first time. I watched them and I was like, wow, this is really intense.
It's a like, Final Four team right there.
Right. Filming basketball is you understand how to film it. You know the ball has to go in the basket this way. You kind of expect like the motion is going to go like towards the basket. With volleyball, it's not like that. I'm like,
they fake you out.
I'm going back and forth. And I'm like, I don't know what is going to happen or when it's going to happen. So yeah, there was difficulty with that, but yeah, that's one of maybe my favorite team to film. And we talk about it too, the best NYU team that could arguably be it.
Well, I was gonna say personality-wise, they're just so they have such like a warm and inviting energy to them. So like, yes, like taking you as part of the team, but even like, let's say during basketball season when we would see them, first of all, they always come out like as a unit to watch the other teams. But just like when you see each other, just the amount that they'll take that moment to just catch up with you and all that. I think that's top down too, like credit to Andrew Brown, right? Like just recruiting a specific character and building that character, that culture as well.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think that's like the only sport. Other than that, like fencing, wrestling, very unfamiliar with those sports. I didn't really get to film them much, but like just being able to see how they work and like exactly like you mentioned, like D3, like it's not, you don't just go out there and like practice once a day, like or like once a week.
Yeah.
Like they're in that room or like on the field, they're locked in for like their whole season and off season, exactly like a D1 athlete would be. It's the same thing in terms of like how much they care about the sport.
Commitment is no different.
Yeah, it's no different. So like just seeing the work ethic, it's cool to see.
Yeah. You want to talk Drake?
It's a must with these two.
You pulling that up?
The reason being, like we talked about how we're just big Drake stans. So one of our prompts was top 5 Drake songs of all time. And Alekhya was like, that's literally impossible. I was like, it's possible.
It's not possible.
It's possible. So we'll go with top 5 Drake songs of all time in no order.
But
let's popcorn it. So like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, etc. So Kai, you can start.
You start.
Yeah, because
I got on my phone.
I'm certainly a Drake fan, but I'm not on these two's level.
Not 0.01
Super
Spotify.
I'm not. He wasn't. Yeah, was not my top artist on my rap.
Right.
So I had trouble with this because I was told that features disqualified songs.
That's
and
correct.
Like, all of my favorite Drake songs have features. So since we're going no order, this is hard.
Just one.
Yeah, just one right now. I'm gonna go Tuscan Leather. To me, it's one of the best intros to an album
That's
ever.
a very good intro. Great album too.
Solid.
Fantastic album.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably my favorite Drake album.
Okay.
Honestly.
Nothing was the same. Yeah. Probably for me too. Yeah.
Mine too.
Was that 2015?
2016.
2015.
15.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Alekhya. What you got for one?
I also had Tuscan Leather.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, shout out. Okay. I don't have Tuscan Leather, but it's not on my top 5.
Intro.
Although I love the song. Doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, I don't like it.
Doesn't miss.
No, I totally agree. All right, my top 5. I'm only gonna give one. I know I said no order, but I can say that my favorite Drake song of all time is "Do Not Disturb."
Okay.
It's my favorite Drake song of all time. Yeah.
Word,
All
respect.
right, what you got, Kai?
That was in the last night 1 a.m. debates.
Yeah, you're talking to your own demons.
What I was told that "What a Time to Be Alive" counts since it was
Yes.
a fully collaborative album with Future. So 30 for 30 Freestyle is one of my all-time favorite
Oh
songs.
man,
Great.
That
great
is one
song.
of my all-time favorite songs. When I
Valid,
should get in that
very
bag,
valid.
I should get in that zone.
That's top honorable mention for me. I would throw that in there. I know we're not naming.
I
those,
can't do
but-
honorable mentions, so
No,
this will
because
go
I
on.
would name every song.
No, this will go
30 for
on.
30 Freestyle is a great,
Oh,
great
just all-timer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Furthest Thing.
Furthest thing from perfect, like anyone I know. Okay, very good.
I like
very
that.
good. I have to go with. I'll go a little further back. This is like his. I guess you could say arguably his breakout song, best I ever had. I can't have a top 5 without it on there.
Fair.
Okay.
So I have to put it on there.
I was going like,
Your favorites?
okay, it's a favorite, but like, there's just too many if you go into like the over headlines and stuff like that.
No,
So
yeah,
I just
yeah.
like didn't mention that one.
Okay, fair enough. All right,
Right.
so I had best I ever
Word.
had.
All right.
Word.
Round
Go,
3.
Kai.
Round 3. Easy one, I guess. 6 Man.
6 man is good, like your Lou
Classic.
Will.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, I've taken many cashes from that. My baseball
Yeah.
uniform
Yeah.
number 6.
Yeah, it's
6
fine.
man
Yeah.
like Google.
Okay,
All right. I'm gonna go From Time.
from time. Janae on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, shot solid. I'm going Feel No Ways. Feel No Ways. Yeah, great album.
Solid.
Views, right? Views. Yeah, Feel No Ways
Yeah,
is all time
Views.
song, man. All
Word.
time. All right, round 4.
Going back, this one is just a shout out to my like 14-year-old, 15-year-old self, something like that. Underground Kings. Used to-
Underground Kings is
Good.
so fire.
used to,
Beat
go
goes
hard.
so
Yeah.
hard. Beat
Hard.
goes so hard. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, it goes so hard. Okay.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'm going Draft Day.
Johnny Manziel. Okay.
5 years later.
Draft Day is very good. Yeah.
Oh my, the man still.
Draft Day is very good, I will say. It did feel like a little bit of a flash in the pan in that it was a little underrated almost, like looking back, but could just be my take on it. My next one, my penultimate one is Passion Fruit. I freaking love Passion Fruit.
That
Great
couldn't
song.
be on my top 30.
This,
Wow, not in your top 30?
Nope.
Wow, surprising.
damn. This last spot is tough for me. Again, because the features thing. But I think I'm gonna have to go Live from the Gutter. Back to
Live
What a
from
Time
the
to Be
Gutter.
Alive. What a Time to Be Alive.
Yeah. That's a great
really
album.
like that album.
It's a great album, yeah. It's a very good one. Sick album cover, too.
Yeah.
Straight Diamonds. All right, what's your last top 5?
Over My Dead Body.
That's on mine too. That's on mine too. I'm glad we had at least one. Yeah. My last one was Over My Dead Body. I came across the woman that has the vocals for that on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Unbelievable, because she's just singing it with like no auto tune, no nothing. She even sang like a part that didn't make the cut. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
This was my list last night.
And then what are the hearts to note?
The Hearts denoted the top 10.
Okay.
And then from
he
that,
has
it
to narrow
went
it down.
down.
What do you have on the bottom here? Oh,
this
that's
is, like,
different
the
notes. Different notes.
questions.
Okay. Do you
But-
have anything on there? It's like, for me, I had 2 songs that were like, I love this song. This has potential to crack my top 5.
Yeah.
It just might be a little too soon.
Yeah.
Like recency bias.
Oh, not recency wise.
Well, yes, yeah.
I mean, maybe, but I didn't even look at the recents because I was like,
Too soon.
these are, too soon.
Yeah. My 2 soons, I just have 2: Privileged Rappers
Yeah.
and Hours in Silence.
Yeah, definitely from that album.
Yeah. I mean, among others, but
My
like,
loss, I
like
guess.
top 5, crack top 5 potential. I think those 2 are just like they have the potential, but might be too soon.
I mean, I had D&D on mine. I had like the same as yours.
On your,
On my, on my
your top
tops.
10.
What's your most underrated? Let's go into that. Most
Underrated
underrated
song.
Drake song.
Underrated Drake song. Damn, you got one, Kai? Let me
See, obviously they like prepared prior. To
I got mine.
I found
I
out
got
about this
mine.
debate.
Kai was
like,
roped into this
5
like,
minutes
last minute.
before we
Yeah.
shot.
Let me.
But I do want to get out there now that we've done with the top 5. My all-time favorite Drake song, because it has a feature.
With the
on it,
feature, yeah.
is Pound Cake, Paris Morgan.
Ah,
feature.
Pound
Wait,
Cake.
I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
that
I
counts.
feel like that's him.
That is him.
But Jay
Yeah.
is like the reason that's my favorite Drake song is
true.
because of Jay-Z.
That's
Says
true.
a
No,
lot
but I feel like
about
that
you if
counts.
you're
It's
not
on- it's
feeling
on
us.
his-
That's an all-time bar.
That counts. That counts for sure.
All
All right, then I replace whatever I said as my last one with Pound
Yeah.
Cake.
What did you say as your last one? It was a "What a Time to Be Alive" song.
It was Live from the Gutter, which
Live
is
from the
tough
Gutter.
to, but yeah,
Yeah.
Pound Cake is better.
Were you asking me underrated Drake song or album?
Song.
Song. There's a lot out there. What do you have? As I keep scrolling.
I think Sandra's Rose.
Sandra's Rose is good. Yeah. I think a lot of people treat it as an interlude,
Yeah.
but it's very good on its own.
Or like The Ride.
Yeah, the ride is good. These are some deep cuts of the Drake discography. I'm just clicking through albums here.
Those
There's
are
some
the
good
ones
ones
I
on here.
listed.
I think More Life was poorly received, but very good in looking back.
Yeah.
Certified Lover Boy was received well, but not treated as like top, and I think it's like really, really good.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Some of those collabs that he has on there are nuts. A deep cut, underrated, unforgettable with Jeezy.
Yeah, I had
That
that
used
in
to
my
be my
top
shit.
10.
Oh, I love that song.
That used to be my
Yeah,
shit.
that-
The
my
opening
top 10.
chords too,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of us had HYFR with Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's good, but
Like,
it's
that's
not
a
even
I
top
was
my
trying
top.
to, like
It's
that
not my
one.
top.
No, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Okay. I feel bad for the non-Drake fans because
They're just
like,
gonna hear us
I hope you
talking
checked
about
out like
Yeah.
9.
But no, you only live
But if
twice.
you're not
is
a
an
Drake fan,
all-timer.
like, what are you doing?
Like you only live twice with Wayne and Ross. Like honestly, Rick Ross.
You
and
Only Live
Drake
Twice is
just
fire.
Go
That's a-
hard together. Like Lemon Pepper Freestyle with
Lemon Pepper
Ross
Freestyle.
is amazing.
Yeah. That could be underrated for me.
Even I think this.
But that like whole album is just gonna age well.
Yeah,
And
well,
then-
because
then when we do this podcast again, when I'm in my senior year, we'll mention those.
And he'll have dropped a couple more albums by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also Yeba's Heartbreak on CLB. Yeba's a phenomenal artist, and I think that feature really helped her kind of blow up a little bit. So
Yeah, a lot of these are really good. Can't lie. I'm scrolling through a lot here. Literally just every single album. Okay. That was a good Drake discussion. I'm glad that it spanned the
I'm
time,
glad that it's-
the length that it did.
I'm glad that me keeping up all night to.
Is
Yeah,
it-
I'm
it
just
is
glad.
this.
Hey, I'm just glad to be a part of y'all's Drake debate. This was a long time coming, so it's a privilege and an honor.
Over my dead body, really.
I would
is.
just want to say I was really charged up for
Yeah. Yeah, didn't go over my head.
not over my dead body. But
No, never that.
As we wrap here, though, like I know you mentioned earlier on that your goal was, working for Slam or an outlet like that. Has that changed? And if so, what's your professional goals in the industry now?
Yeah, I think it's definitely changed. My ultimate goal right now, at this moment, I mean, obviously subject to change, is to become a physiotherapist one day.
Word.
So I plan to go into my master's and do that afterwards.
Dope.
But like for my time here, because I'm studying sports management already, I think it's still cool to like I would love to work at like Women's Slam or like just like be able to see the operations behind such like a dynamic and like thriving sport company like that. Like Bleacher Report, ESPN. Anybody want to hire me, please?
Even internships, man. New York City is way too
but,
connected.
Like just being here, like in the city, like I've already gotten so many opportunities at such crazy companies. I'm just like I can't wait for like my next couple of years just to like be able to do that.
There was a Women's Sports Foundation event that you went to. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
I went to like the Women's Sports Foundation's annual 50th gala. Got invited to go.
Sick. How did the
yeah.
invite like come together?
Can't talk about it.
Okay,
But like,
word,
I'll tell you
word.
off camera.
Yeah.
But like, but yeah, like I basically got invited to go. I was like in a room with like 150 plus Olympic athletes. Serena Williams was there.
Yeah, just the
Like,
most
literally,
notable athletes ever.
Yeah, Sunisa Lee. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And the
amazing,
thing is,
yeah.
you would think that like, oh, you're in a room with all these athletes and they're gonna be like secluded, like they're in their own area. Nope, we were all in
Right
one,
in it.
all one area. Everyone's just networking. Like it was awesome, and like it was, they're like giving awards and stuff like that. So like, I think one of the nominees was Candace Parker.
Okay.
So like, I was praying that I would see her, but
Okay.
no, she wasn't there.
She wasn't
Or
there. Gotcha.
Maybe she came and left or something. But yeah, it was super dope. And that was like my first month at NYU. I was like, this is my start off. Like,
Yeah,
this is
seriously.
where I am.
Yeah, that and then you got
Yeah.
hired at NYU Athletics.
That was like the same week.
yeah, that's a good week. That's a good week. for
Great
you.
week.
Right.
But
Well,
yeah.
another thing I was thinking of though, like on the sports media side, but then also your interest in physical therapy, about like how those two might blend. Like they don't have to be different routes. You know, like a lot of injuries happen, unfortunately, but it is realistic. But potentially there's an avenue for creating that lane of like just like people's recovery process and just documentary style of
Yeah, for sure.
you know, really that behind the scenes, because a lot of people are just like they'll hear in February this person tore their meniscus, they'll be out 6 to 8 weeks, and then in a month and a half they're back on the court like nothing happened.
Yeah.
You never really see that like peek behind the curtain of everything that goes on in the rehab process.
It's so mentally challenging.
Yeah.
I've been injured so many times before, and like that's part of the reason why I don't want to play anymore.
What injuries
Like,
have you had?
Broke my nose, was out for a whole season
Yeah.
because my school didn't have that they didn't
The
approve
mask,
the
yeah.
mask policy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to get surgery and like we had travel tournaments, so missed like both of them. I got to travel but like couldn't play. And like emotionally that was really challenging. And like broke both my arms like twice.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Each one twice?
Like no, like this one
One
twice,
and one.
and then like this one, like I fractured it. Like it was like someone sat on my hand.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Like, and then like I don't mention it, but I played softball in high school too.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so like just like being out for like those seasons, and I was just like sitting there like in the dugout, and I was like, damn, I can't play. But yeah, just like mentally challenging. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that. So like that's kind of why I want to be a PT. Like my PT in high school helped me so much, and like I definitely wouldn't even be able to pick up a basketball right now if it wasn't for him. Like it would just be too stressful, like
Right.
too anxiety filled. But yeah, for sure, I get what you mean by like
Yeah.
people don't really see that, and like documenting that would be super dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Right.
Good
Why not
ideas.
carve out a lane? Yeah. We'll talk about it. You have 3 more years there. But yeah, I mean, I think that even just saying that for me right now is just like so surreal. Like the fact that you're putting out the level of work that you are, not only consistently and not only reliably, but also at like a really high level. Like just, you know, or rather what I meant to say is at that high level as just in your first year. You know, obviously there are trends that we follow and things that change, but at the end of the day, like, you know, those like 4 pillars, however many I just named, like those always stay. So that's gonna be pretty cool to just have you around, continue to be involved in the department.
For sure.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
very grateful.
Thank you for
the
having
future.
me.
Of course, yeah. Do you have anything for us before we wrap?
No, thank you for letting me be on this podcast.
Yeah.
Silence behind the violets.
Yes, we want to continue to really just branch out, right? Like as far as just the community that goes into telling the NYU story, especially for the student athletes that deserve either cool graphics, sick highlight videos, and really anything else that falls under our job description, right? So it's that simple. Episode 14 is in the books. Keep it locked to NYU Athletics on social. Go NYUathletics.com. You can find the video portion to these, like the full ones, at the bottom of the page. Every Monday, I always queue up the audio to drop at 6 a.m. on Anchor, aka wherever you get your podcast. So like that's Apple, Spotify. Everyone's like pretty much a Spotify listener in the analytics. So like whatever.
I
fine.
only watch on YouTube.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and then
I didn't even know that it was
I
on
appreciate
Spotify.
it. Yeah. If you wanna go to the Silence Behind the Violets playlist and then just click play and then put it on like 4 times the speed so you could just get the plays up. We'll
Why? Oh, so you can get more views. I was like, why would I listen to it at 4 times the speed?
yeah, new episode every Monday. Again, I queue up the audio to go up at 6 a.m. every Monday, and then the video. Honestly, sometimes it comes out like Saturday night just because I just want to have it like populated. But anyways, Alekhya, thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.